Hello there, I'm Daz. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a mod that promises a private island situated between Skyrim and Solstheim. There's a little bit of information on screen, but not much, I'm afraid, and Bethesda is not supplying us with any artwork either. So I did a little bit of checking online, and this mod, which is called Mirage Island, and has been created by a person called ZUVU, that's ZUVU. It seems to have been around for about 3 or 4 years. There are a few videos on this on YouTube, but I didn't see any detailed walkthroughs, so I'm going to take a stab at making one myself. As you can see from the little bit of information on screen, it says we can use a fast travel marker to get to the island or take a private boat in Solitude. Now, I actually attempted to take the private boat. There we are, just outside Solitude. And it appears to me that you need to actually travel to the island first to unlock the ships that you can take from the various harbours around Skyrim. So I'm going to be heading there using the fast travel marker. So here we are. It's just next to the Solstheim travel marker. So let's get underway. I'm probably going to need to split this walkthrough over 3 or 4 episodes. There is quite a lot to get through. So obviously I've had a practice run and I think I know what I'm doing. There may be a few missteps nevertheless, because I've only been through it the once. So here we are. It's all looking very jolly. I'll just take a sweeping view of the island. You can see Tel Mithrin in the background on Solstheim. So these appear to be the markers if you want to actually take a ship back to Skyrim rather than using the fast travel. But as you can see, it says we need a key to travel, which I'll discuss further in just a moment. So there we are, created by Vermina. Nobody knows if this island really exists. It may be a dream or a hallucination. To receive approval and use these facilities, mortals must pay appropriate tribute. And they are not kidding. Before you arrive at this place, if you intend to try and unlock everything, I'd suggest that you have at least 10,000 gold. And you're also going to need a large stockpile of frost salts, fire salts, and void salts. You can gather some on the island, but you're probably going to need about 10 of each before you even arrive here. So let's grab the first thing that we're going to need. We're going to need to collect a bunch of these fisherman's journals in order to unlock things as we go along. That is journal number 1. You'll notice that we also have here a harpoon crafter. The reason for that will become evident a little bit later on. Also, a word of warning, do not attack any of the wildlife. I made that mistake. I decided to attack one of the goats earlier, and the wildlife on the island all became hostile, and they are invincible. So you pretty much wind up needing to reload a save if you aggro any of the animals. So leave them be. And here we have a fisherman's cabin, which we need to craft a key in order to gain access. So we need to interact with these Vermina altars. There's one at each side of the door. They are both identical. Excuse me. So there you see, we need 6,000 gold and a black soul gem. The soul gem needs to be an empty black soul gem. So I'm going to craft that key now, but I'm not going to head into the cabin just yet, because you'll see that as we scroll down, the writing's very small. So the next item we're going to need to create is this underground pass key, which is going to take us below the lighthouse at the corner of the island. And for that we need to collect journals 1 through 5. So before I head into this fisherman's cabin, I'm going to grab another couple of these journals, avoiding any aggro with the goats and the rabbits. I will also mention that we have these shrines. We have 3 of these dotted around the island, and you can't actually interact with them at the moment, but later on during this walkthrough I'll show you that they do actually have a use. There we have a dragon bone sword in a stone. You don't seem to be able to interact with that. I'll maybe try that again later on. Another of these shrines. So you can swim across this bay, but you cannot swim out towards Solstheim. You'll see you hit the limit pretty quickly. There we are. That's as far as you can go, which makes sense really. It would be more annoying if it let you get halfway there and then you couldn't get any further. So we have mud crabs hiding away. Don't aggro these either. They are non-hostile. We have a chest. Right, I seem to have got a graphics glitch. I'll try and fix that in a moment. You'll see we have Fisherman's Journal number 2. I'm just going to grab everything. There is also an empty black soul gem there, which might be useful for some players if they didn't bring one with them. Right. I don't think this is a fault with this mod. It's a graphics mod I have installed, and sometimes it's a pain in the neck. This kind of thing happens. But it might be a good thing because the sun has come out now. So I'm going to race around to the other side of the island and grab journal number 3, and then I'm going to head inside the cabin. I'll probably keep these episodes down to 20-25 minutes in length. I'm not sure how long the whole endeavour is going to take. It might be about 1.5 hours. I mean, if you only want to unlock the home, it's going to be quite a short affair, but there is a lot of exploration to be done underneath this island, and it is quite complicated actually. So I think we have another journal, yep. So journal number 3, right there. I'm going to take us inside this little area. We can't travel very far down here at the moment, but I just want to give you a little bit of a sneak peek at what is to come later on. Candlelight may help. So yeah, we can't get through this gate. We can open this from the other side much later, but you can see what looks to be a dwarven ruin down there. So that's something to look forward to if you enjoy dwarven ruins. There is also a journal, Damned Fish. I'll read that. We don't really need this one, but it gives a little bit of information which is not useful at the moment. but it is later. So I'll leave that on screen just another couple of seconds, give people a chance to hit pause. It's not easy to read actually. So I'll take that and the gold and head back up and then up into the Fisherman's Cabin. Just making sure I'm not missing anything else. I'm very sorry, I'm having trouble with my throat. And I'm going to be heading into the Lighthouse very shortly. We also have a fish hatchery. I'm going to dump some fish in there. When I made the practice run earlier, I had mixed results with this. So you see I'm putting in some of the common fish that were in the original game, but I'm also putting in there a pearlfish and a pygmy sunfish. So on the practice run, all of the old school fish did spawn and it seemed to work perfectly well, but the pygmy sunfish and the pearlfish did not spawn, even though it accepted the offering. So maybe that's just because they are fish added to the game after this mod was created. I'm not sure, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll be here long enough for them to spawn again during this little walkthrough. So we're about 10 minutes in. I need to get moving. I'll just actually show you this area. Some people may be curious about this weird strongbox. It doesn't actually seem to do anything, so I think that is best ignored. Okay. So we have some musical instruments here. I'm not going to mess around with these at the moment. I'll leave that to you guys. It's quite straightforward. You can do various dance moves and play instruments and see some interesting animations, but I think that's about the only use for them. So now we have the Lighthouse key and we have journal number 4. So those are both essential items. I'll have a quick look around here before heading downstairs and then down to the lighthouse. So we have some Daedra shrines here, Boethia, Azura and Mephala. There is also a shrine of Auriel there. And downstairs we have quite a few display cases and weapon racks. I did actually test these when I was here previously. I placed weapons in several of these display cases and I filled one of these weapon racks, and I went back to Skyrim. I waited a couple of days, came back. I was able to retrieve all of my gear. So I can't promise that that's going to work for everyone, but they seem to be quite reliable in my experience so far. We also have a storage area for the Dragon Priest masks, which is rather nice, and a full set of Shrines of the 9 Divines. This is an arcane enchanter, a rather unique looking one. So there we are. The same function as an arcane enchanter. Over here we have a regular alchemy lab, but we have the ability to harvest fire salts, frost salts and void salts. So I'm going to grab some of these now because we're going to be needing a bunch of these in any case in one of the later episodes. So you should really avail yourself of that. I'm not sure how long they take to restock, but as you can see, you can grab 2 of each. Down here we have some itemized storage containers, but in actual fact, as you can see, that's for arrows and bolts. You can actually put anything you want in there. I'm gonna put in a piece of jewellery and my headgear, and as you see, so you can use them as itemized storage or anything else you like. So I think that's it for the player home. I don't want to spend too long in here because obviously there is an oven as well. Yeah, there is a lot to get through. So for some people this may be enough. They may not be interested in exploring the island or what is beneath the island. They may just want a early game home that they don't want to stump up any cash for. We have a smelter. I forgot to mention actually that we also have, I think, in this area, yep, grindstone, anvil and armourer's workbench and a tanning rack, so everything that you're going to need. And in the lighthouse we have a staff enchanter as well. Okay, so this doesn't seem to have any function apart from decorative. If we head down here right now, which is where I'm going to be heading for the next episode, you'll see that we require a key. That's the key that's going to require the 5 fisherman's journals. Yeah, a few things on this island are purely decorative and you can't interact with them, such as these items on here. You can grab that Vermina robes, not the lantern. So there's the staff enchanter. I need to grab this journal up here from the sigil on the floor. So there we have Fisherman's Journal number 5. I can now craft the next key, which is going to take us downstairs. I'll just head up here to show you that we're going to need another key later on to get through this wall, but we need to explore the underside first. So back up to the entrance of the cabin to fashion the key to get down below, and that's where the real adventuring is going to start. Just checking. I think the fish actually spawned very quickly the last time I was here. They might be there when I've explored beneath the lighthouse. Okay, so I don't want another fisherman's cabin key. So I can actually unlock Sea Knowledge Windhelm. So I'm going to get that one now. It'll stop me having to carry all these fish about. And that means I'll be able to take the boat to and from Windhelm rather than use the fast travel. And the underground pass key, as mentioned earlier, just needs the first 5 fisherman's journals. So here goes, down below the lighthouse, and get the real exploration underway. In case you're wondering, this lighthouse doesn't unlock on the map for fast travel until you've actually reached the top much later on. Also, this is where we are on the world map. It's difficult to see. I'm having to try and pull the camera around as much as possible. So there is Mirage Island in relation to Raven Rock. There are going to be some more new map markers as we explore further. And I'm coming to the end of this episode. I don't think there's any combat actually for a while, so I'm going to also use a mage light. So I think this is an opportune time to end this first episode. You can see a little bit of what we have ahead of us in our search for more fishermen's journals and other sundry items. So I hope people have found this useful so far, and hopefully you'll join me for the next episode where we attempt to solve the mysteries of Mirage Island. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.